Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach. At the beginning, I'd like to thank Brian O'Donnell and Mairead McGrath for their help and work on this very important motion, and also to wish the leader of our group, Deputy Matty McGrath, every good luck, health, and getting back on the road very, very quickly back to good health. What we want to do in this motion, as a group, we are saying that Dáil Éireann should recognise that as the second winter of the pandemic approaches, we are now contending with a cost of living crisis on a number of fronts. That the government's climate action policies are having a profound socio-economic impact on everybody's lives negatively. That the key air grid report operator of the National Grid warned that Ireland could face electricity deficits for the next 5 winters, in other words, blackouts. The air grid prediction that low availability of power plants in Ireland was likely to contribute to the energy issues faced by the country this winter. Now, what the government have done continuously is said we should use more electricity, and at the same time they've shut down the plants that generate this electricity. It just does not make sense. They shut down Bornemona at a time that we more than ever needed them, and their answer was to shut them down. That there have been at least 31 energy prices hikes by suppliers this year, meaning bills are skyrocketing by as much as €805 for some customers, leaving the country in the grip of an energy crisis. This is not just affecting householders. You have small shops and small businesses who use a lot more energy. They are seeing their costs going through the roof, and their income, if anything, is going backwards. That electricity prices in Ireland are the highest in the EU, according to Eurostat. The warning from the Irish Road Haulage Association, who I met with 2 weeks ago, and that an all-time high record increases in petrol and diesel are crippling in the sector and increasing all consumer goods as a consequence of the increased transportation costs. Everything in this country rolls on wheels. Nothing falls out of the sky. When I met the Haulage Association in Killarney 2 weeks ago, their message to me was very clear. Stand up inside the Dáil and ask the government, are you going to recognise that the haulage industry is going through a massive crisis? People that have lorries on the road delivering goods, the goods that we need every day, they are in crisis. Through the climate action the action bill, which completely undermines our uncontested need for more gas-fired power energy generation to ensure continued security of electricity supply. Now more than ever, the Shannon LNG project should be going ahead. What was your answer to the Winnie Farm government? To capitulate and to give in to the Greens. What did he do? All he said, all right, we won't go ahead with Shannon LNG. Everybody knows we need it. Everybody knows it's the right thing to do. But just because of satisfying the needs of the Green Party, who are really running this country into the ground. And nobody will ever point their finger at us and say, oh, well, they're all like climate change deniers. They don't agree with anything. They think it's all a lot of nonsense. We're not saying that. What we're saying is there are sensible, prudent things that you should be doing, but instead you're adversely impacting on the farmers, you're adversely affecting the householders, the people that have to live today, the people that have to pay their ESB bills today, they have to send their children to school today, they have to pay their bills for their food today. And at the same time, what are they getting from government? A massive, massive shockwave of the implications of the implementation of the carbon budget and what that's going to mean to them. And it is actually frightening. And unless you're living in the cabinet bubble that seems to be so far removed from reality that you can be oblivious to what's happening in the countryside, you will feel the wrath of what is happening in the countryside. But the amazing thing about it is I don't know what the people are going to do, because it is not just the Green Party. It is Fine Gael are blind and asleep. Fianna Fáil are blind and asleep. The Greens are blind and asleep. And a lot of the opposition are saying to you then at the same time, oh, you're not going far enough, fast enough. I mean, what do you want to do? Make it impossible for people to live today? We're all interested in the climate. We're all interested in the future. But you have to protect the people in the present. And you are choosing to ignore that completely. And I mean, when we see what other countries are doing, Other countries are recognising the energy crisis. In Spain, for instance, the Prime Minister there has reduced the VAT and tax take to try and ensure that the people can survive and pay their bills today. I would ask you to please wake up to the needs of the people now.